Get ready to get in the game. Stretch, strengthen, live, and thrive. You can be a winning athlete in the game of life. It's the Peel Appeal with author and corrective exercise specialist Matt Peel.
Hey, this is Matt Peel with the Peel Appeal podcast. Welcome. This is the podcast where we talk about the facts, the scientific facts, and only the facts, and not just all the social media bullshit that you hear out there in trends that someone wants to make up and tell you, yes, this is what you should do. This is what you need to do. Those are lies. That's false. We only rely on science and how that can help you in your current situation to help you live better, feel better, look better, and be the person you really want to be. And that's what the Peel Appeal podcast is about. So in today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about something called chronic pain and how to overcome that without a prescription, right? Maybe you're one of those people that are popping these over-the-counter pain medicines, Advil, ibuprofen, it is ibuprofen or Tylenol or aspirin, whatever it is that you're taking, and you're taking multiple days, not because your doctor says to for your heart and your blood pressure, but because you just ache all the time. So they're like Tic Tacs, right? Boom, here goes another Aleve. Boom, here goes another Advil. Is that you? Is that you I'm talking to? It probably is. So did you know that we could treat your chronic pain without a prescription? Believe it or not, we can. And without OTCs. It's called lifestyle. And maybe there's some things with your lifestyle that could help you if you made some changes. Get rid of your chronic pain. Maybe you saw me talking on WWL TV, our New Orleans affiliate for CBS, Great Day, Louisiana, and discussing chronic pain and some ways to overcome it. So chronic pain really devastates America. And the number one chronic pain out there is lower back pain. Maybe you have it. You're the one that I need to talk to for this because it leads the way. But we want to know the difference between acute pain and chronic pain. So acute pain is if you move and you feel like a jabbing pain, like an ice pick, as I like to say. That's an acute pain. That's in one specific area that hurts only when you do a specific movement, and it's very sharp. Chronic pain is kind of that constant, dull pain that you now probably learn to just live with. Like your back it's stiff all the time. It never seems to go away. That's what chronic pain is. Acute pain goes away, because whatever issue you have heals, and then you don't have that problem anymore, that sharp pain. But that chronic pain is that ongoing dull every day, never seems to loosen up. So why is that? Well, because chronic pain comes from repetitive movements or lack of movement, which is actually a repetitive movement. If you're sitting all day, that's actually a movement pattern because your muscles still have to contract and move around your joints. So when you repeat that movement, which is sitting all day long, every single day, right, then your joints get pulled out of whack. And the only way to help overcome that is by stretching the overly tight muscle and then strengthening the opposite side of the joint, the overly weak muscle. So let's give an example of that with our low back, because again, it's the number one chronic pain out there, and either you have it or you know someone very close to you, a close friend or family member that seems to have chronic low back pain. So when we're sitting all the time, our hip flexors and our quadriceps, or the muscles up on our thighs, on top of our legs, top of our upper legs, get overly tight. So you can't quite stand up all the way. And when you do, it hurts your lower back. That means on the back side, your glutes and your hamstrings are the muscles on the back of your upper leg, get very weak and overly lengthened. So that now, when you go down to pick up a case of water, for example, you can't bend your knees to squat down and pick it up because of this repositioning of our body. So what do you use to actually pick up that case of water is your lower back. And doing that over and over and over again, yes, can create injuries. And then that shift in your hips creates your lower back pain, right? And yes, it is because you're sitting, because everything is weak, whether you're driving all the time or sitting behind your desk or the combination of both. So that's what your chronic pain is. And the only way to overcome that, like I said, is stretching the overly tight muscle, which in that situation is your quadriceps and hip flexors, and then strengthening your hamstrings and glutes to bring your muscles back into proper length tension relationship. The other thing that contributes to chronic pain is your cumulative injury cycle. So what is that? Well, say you hurt your ankle and you twist your ankle, or maybe you broke your ankle and you just never healed right. Say it's your left ankle for an example. So with that, so you can't do what's called a dorsiflexion, or basically pull your toe up with keeping your heel on the ground. And that's responsible when you squat down to be able to keep your body in good alignment so you don't lean forward. So if that ankle doesn't heal right, it makes your right ankle have to compensate and take more of your weight. So you have a shift to avoid feeling that acute pain on your left ankle. So your body shifts. So now your right side, so now your whole body shifts to the right because your right ankle becomes stronger. And on top of that, the rest of your joints, your knees, and then your hips on your left side begin to have some dysfunction because they're not operating properly, because you're not contacting the ground in the right way and being able to put full weight on that left side. So you create more weakness on the left and more strength on the right. So everything shifts. And then you have that weakness. And sometimes if you go to use that left side, you fall, or because the strength isn't there. So when these other joints have to take up the work of that left ankle, then you have more repetitive movements, which can create more chronic pain, which then means that you can get, again, just more injuries in your body out of whack. Now, can you go back and re-heal that side? Maybe, maybe not, and you need to see a doctor for those types of things, like a physical therapist or orthopedic if it's really bad. But with regular exercise and working with specialists such as myself in corrective movements, we can do our best to help alleviate these ongoing cumulative injury problems and get your body back to using both sides properly. And that's how you can get rid of your chronic pain. You don't need to constantly pop those Advils, right? If you're overweight, that exacerbates the problem because now you have more pressure on your joints than what your body is used to handling. So add that to the fact of, okay, so now my right side, I'm overweight. I'm 25 pounds overweight. So I have an extra 25 pounds if I'm just standing normally on both feet. But now shift that over to the right side because you can't put all your weight on the left side. So now your right side has even more stress placed upon it because your left side doesn't work right. And now the pain just gets even worse. And then we say, oh man, we got to go to pain management doctors. See the cycle? It gets worse and worse and worse and more expensive. That's not cheap. So you're out of work more, costs your employer more to cover you and cost you more out of your pocket. So if we get ourselves back into eating properly and eat foods that are not inflammatory towards us, and that's different for everybody. Maybe it's dairy, maybe it's some type of, maybe it's alcohol, maybe, grains, maybe it's some other type of processed food that's out there that we continually eat and can't figure out why. Again, plus calories are calories. So if we're putting more in than we're using, there you go. It also creates digestive health problems and fatigue, all these things. I've never heard someone say that, man, eating broccoli and asparagus, for example, just makes my body inflamed. Those are two foods that you will never hear associated with inflammation. So maybe you need to eat some more fruits and vegetables and a little less processed foods. that can help out with the antioxidants. And that's another podcast for another day. But overall, changing your diet can also reduce your chronic pain because you're putting foods in there that fight off free radical damage. Plus, it gets your weight in line and less pressure on your joints. Now, water. Are you properly hydrated? If you're not drinking half your body weight in ounces daily, well, you're dehydrated, right? So your energy levels are down. Your joints are more stiff. Your muscles don't have the same pliability as they do for someone who's hydrated, which then that extra stiffness from dehydration on top of your movement patterns, and there's your chronic pain, right? So you can solve a lot of things on your own without having to pay for a doctor. Stretch a little bit more, get up, move around, let's drop some tonnage on you, and your body will respond positively in kind. How do I know? Because I've worked with many clients since 2008 to help them get rid of their pain, and we've done it with diet and exercise. Again, aside from a previous injury that has not healed and maybe cannot heal properly, let's take that out of the equation. But even then, we can still manage our weight. We can still work on strengthening and stretching the muscles, even around a joint that is injured and is not repairable without another surgery. So you can do it. You just got to make an effort. Exercise, healthy food choices can reduce and potentially eliminate your chronic pain over time. But it's dedication to that healthy lifestyle that's going to do it. They'll have a lot more lifetime positive effects than simply taking your over-the-counter pain medication or just even getting prescription pain medication, right? That only masks the pain. It doesn't solve the problem. So you want the manual to this? You want the guide? You want the Bible on how to get your body back into its correct postural positions? Well, then you've come to the right place. My book, The Athlete in the Game of Life, is what you need to read to help you overcome your chronic pain from things I'm talking about. Go to my website today, mattpeel.com, scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, and really any page, and you'll see Athlete in the Game of Life. Click it, order now, and then Amazon will send that book to you. And once you get it, you will know exactly what you need to do to overcome your chronic pain. So go order my book today, Athlete in the Game of Life. Till then, this is Matt Peel, author of it, with the Peel Appeal podcast. I will see you later.
Are you ready to get in the game? Get personal help, sign up for our newsletter, and pick up your copy of Athlete in the Game of Life, the book, all at mattpeel.com. Thanks for listening.